everybody, Terrence Popp, Donkless.com with another episode from the Lair. I didn't go on leave for Thanksgiving because I got to save the days, but I've been occupying my time. I wrote down a bunch of other Army stories that took place at the 9th Infantry Division, and I am basically sizing and reloading my plinking rounds for the upcoming year, British 303. It's kind of tedious. I'm changing around how I do things. I'm going to basically do all 500 rounds and size them, then clean them, and then deprime them, and then prime them, and then load them up in lots of 50. It's tedious and time consuming, and the key to it is consistency. Just like being a good shot or sniper, it's all consistency. And I plink with the 303s. I shoot like 300-400 meters on steel targets, and just to keep my my skill set up there, because it is a perishable skill, and you should probably, if you're a gunfighter, you should practice with guns on a regular basis, just like karate or anything else. All right, let's jump in here. Well, when I was in the 9th Infantry Division, I had a interesting parade of roommates come through, my room. Since I was a private, they would just stick anybody in there, and most of the time, anyone who moved in my room didn't really stay there that long for whatever reason. They were either discharged, they went AWOL, or whatever. But one guy who actually hung out for a while, I'm not going to use his full name, let's call him Vig, and he kept some really fucking weird hours. And sometimes I didn't even know if he was still living there. And back in the day when you used to be able to get the Domino's 2 for $1, I used to order a pizza for me and then leave one on his fucking bed. And then if I'd come in and there's 1 or 2 pieces missing, then I know he's not dead and he's still around. But, we're coming up on this one field problem, and we're going to, I think it's Nisqually Forest, which is, it's like a rainforest, but instead of like, jungles, you have like redwoods and shit. It's pretty, it sucked. I mean, it rained all the time. It never really got super cold, but it got cold enough that being wet and cold sucked. So, in my opinion, the worst thing to be is wet and cold, but that's just me. Some people maybe they hate other things. But anyway, I come in there one day, and Viggy, was fooling around in the bathroom. I don't know what his fucking problem is. He comes out, and this is how you know anything, any words that start with, hey, you need to check this out, or, hey, look at this. Because most of the time when somebody does that, you're going to see shit you can't unsee. So, I'm like, okay, what's up? And he like turns around and he shows me his fucking penis. All right. At the end of his penis, he's got a fucking wart that is so fucking big, it's actually interrupting his ability to piss. And that's why he was in there for so long. And he explains it to me, and I'm like, dude, why the fuck did you let it go this long? I mean, this is fucked up. Or go in the field like in 3 fucking days. I mean, god damn it. So like the next day, I told him to go on sick call. He said, nah. The day after that, he did go on sick call. And, I didn't see him the rest of that day. And, I went to the field. And the next day, they bring Viggy out. And, I knew some shit was going on because he was really pale, kind of greenish, had like that blue ring, around his, like he was just fucking in a lot of pain. So I come back from doing squad maneuvers, and it's the end of the day, and I had my hooch up and everything. And lo and behold, he's in there laying there on the sleeping bag. And I'm like, Vig, man, what's going on? He's like, oh, man. I had to go to the special adult clinic at the Madigan, and this morning it was wart burn-off day. Apparently, this is such a common thing that the special adult clinic actually dedicates a complete day to burning warts off of people's shit. men and women. So he was explaining to me the horrid fucking process, how he goes there, he signs in, there's like, I don't know, 24, 30 people in the room. Nobody making eye contact because everybody knows why they're there. So it's his turn. He walks in and they make him step on this wood box, and there's this dude. He's a physician assistant, and it's just, if you step on the box, your junk is like right there in his face. He's like grabbing it, and he pulls off this fucking, I don't know, liquid nitrogen gun or whatever, and starts burning the fucking wart off of his fucking dick. Not a fucking lick of anesthesia at all. At all. And when they were done, it looked like somebody had taken a melon baller and fucking scooped out like a nice chunk at the end of his fucking penis. You know, and you can go check out the Genocide fucking video I did, and where I mentioned the melon baller. So, you know, it's the Army, so, you know, they make a lot of fucking, you know, stupid decisions, and, you know, one was sending this guy out to the field with a fucking big-ass hole in his penis into a field environment, which is, you know, dirty at best. So, you know, he rolls over and shows me this fucking shit that's all fucked up, and I'm like, oh, no. I go and get the first sergeant, you know, I go talk to him, he's doing his deal, and like, first sergeant, there's a problem. He's like, he asked me what it is. I'm like, you know, I can't put words to it. You just gotta fucking, you just gotta check it out. So first sergeant walks over there and he's holding his cup of coffee, and Viggy fucking pulls out the fucking maimed penis, and the first sergeant's like, God damn, man, oh, dude, that's your penis. Oh, yeah, you know, pack your shit up, get to my, I'm taking you back. Which, you know, was a good, I mean, that's what the first sergeant's job is to make sure people don't, you know, fuck themselves up that don't need to be fucked up. So put him in a vehicle, drove him back to the barracks, and he got to chill out for a week and a half until we came back. You know, I think I've talked to him 2 or 3 times in the past, you know, 20, 25 years. He's married, got like 2 or 3 kids. I think he's married second wife now, I don't know. But, you know, apparently it wasn't that detrimental. Healed up just fine, and maybe he learned a lesson. Okay, here's another fucking VD story. I had a guy, he was in my team, and my team leader was on leave, and I was running the team. And what you do before PT, you know, before you do the right face and everyone fucking marches off, you're just like, okay, who needs to go on sick call? You got a clipboard, and you send them with this little fucking sick call slip. Name, rank, unit, blah, blah, blah. And then I think it's block H is reason for sick call. Usually it's like I have a fever, my throat hurts, you know, ankle, wrist, you know, whatever. You know, I don't know. So this one guy, I'm going to just call him Rig. I'm not going to use his name. It's a generic name. He's been on sick call for VD probably 5 or 6 times in the past 3 months. And it just so happens, you know, this time, you know, I was up there fucking filling out the thing. So I'm like, hey, Rig, all right, why are you going on sick call? Huh? What? Nothing? VD. Give them the slip, send them off. Usually, you know, they go for VD, they go down the matting, get the shot in the butt, some pills, and a harsh talking to. They're back by right around 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock comes and goes. Not there. He doesn't come back. 11, 11:30, I go to chow. Like 12:15, 12:20, the commander sends a CQ to get me, and I have to go to the commander's office with the first sergeant. And the commander we had, you know, he's from West Point, big guy. He was okay, I guess. You know, not really... For being from West Point, you know, he was kind of disappointing, but that's another story. And he'd be like, Popp, and this is exactly how he used to be like, Popp, what's going on with your guys? And I'm like, I don't know. I had some guy go on sick call. Yeah. You know what he's got? And I'm like, I don't know, some kind of VD. He's got syphilis. how the fuck did it get syphilis? And I'm like, sir, I don't know. I'm not fucking the guy. And the first sergeant's like, Eddie's that shit, Pop's not funny. It's not a laughing matter. The Department of Health is getting involved in this. This is syphilis. This is like fatal if it's untreated. So I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do about it, They're like, you need to find out all the bitches he's fucking, and you need to call them right now, today, and make sure that they come to Madigan within the next 7 days, or the state police will get them and bring them here, so they will all be treated. I'm like, oh, shit. So I go talk to Rig, and he's like, gives me the fucking, I don't know the numbers, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, you're not going to give me numbers? All right, well, I got one number. It's for your mother. I'm going to call her first. So he's like, oh, no. So he gives me the names, like 4 or 5 of these girls he's been banging. I go down the list, and every time I tell him the deal, he goes, oh, my God, So I think the third name I called, or maybe the fourth, I don't remember. I asked for this one girl. Her name was Jessica. And, and the person on the phone's like, well, Jessica's not here, but anything you need to say to Jessica, you can say to me because I'm her mother. I'm like, okay, well, Jessica has 7 days to report into the Madigan Army Hospital to be treated for syphilis. And there's that awkward silence, and then oh my God! I explained to her the whole deal. At the end of the day, I walked up to Riggs. I had to counsel him on paper, which is fucking stupid. And I basically said, Rig, if I were you, I wouldn't leave the post for, I don't know, the next year and a half, because there's a lot of people who want to kill your ass. Holy shit. Another weird medical story, and this actually saved my life here. I was saving up to buy a Hurricane 1000. Yeah, that was the cafe racer from Honda. Stupid big motorcycle, low profile, fast as fuck. And I had about $500 more bucks to go, basically 2 more paychecks that I have enough to just pay for the motorcycle with cash. I'd never ridden a motorcycle in my life, but I thought, hey, this is cool. I'm gonna get me one. All right, so a guy in my unit, he has a motorcycle. And he goes out the back gate, the Madigan gate, and if you roll out and you get on the freeway, you have to go downhill, and there's this real steep turn you got to make. Now, this is like, late fall. So in Washington State, they don't really put salt on the roads, they put sand. They use sand. Why that is, I don't know. They usually don't get a lot of snow. So he's getting up to speed, and he's coming around that bend, and he hits a patch of sand, and whoop, flies right off down into on-post housing. And it's hard to explain what he hit. It's basically one of those clothes hanger devices, which looks like a spider web, and it spins, and people used to put their clothes on it. This is back in the day. So he flies off his motorcycle, goes right into that goddamn thing, boom, gets sent to the hospital. I don't find out about it till the end of the day when the first sergeant comes out and says, hey, such and such is in the hospital. If you have any time, go see him today, or you guys can go see him tomorrow. I'll let you guys off for the morning, and then you just come in after lunch. So I'm like, okay. So I knew the guy was a pretty good guy, and so I go see him that night. And I walk into his room. He's on his back, and there's a blanket over him, and then over his pelvis you can see it looks like a box, and it's keeping the sheets off of his junk. And I walk up, and he's like, Pop, they won't tell me. And I'm like, tell you what, man, I mean, you can walk and shit, you're not that fucked up. He goes, no. You need to tell me if my penis is still there. And I'm like, what? He goes, they won't tell me, and I can't look for myself. I'm like, okay. Lift up the sheet. I look at him, and I go, you want the good news or the bad news? And then he's like, just give it to me straight. I'm like, okay. The good news is, it's still there. The bad news is, it's going to itch for a long fucking time. Because he had stitches from the inside ankle, the top of the inside ankle, all the way up his leg, across his pelvis, and up his fucking penis. He had a laceration that was that big. And he was fucking lucky he didn't bleed out. But apparently no arteries were hit. And that healed up. I mean, he was only 20 years old. And I think I talked to him like 10 years ago when Facebook first popped up. I don't know, was that 10 years ago? I don't remember. And we talked, and again, he's married. I think he's got kids, he's divorced. But it is what it is. Okay, now the fourth and final one involves me. Now, I didn't know this at the time. I was like 19 years old. You know, I was a deuce and a half driver, and I drove 5-ton every once in a while, Humvees and shit. So, you know, I'm in the deuce and a half, and we roll up on one of our Humvees that's stuck in the mud. So, you know, we had nylon toe straps. He was too far out to put a chain on him, so I run out there, and I stick the toe strap on the back of the Humvee, and I hook it up in the front of the deuce and a half. And, you know, I put it in reverse, and I'm trying to pull it out, you know, and I'm trying to get a better angle on it. So I tell one of the other guys who can drive, get up in here and take my directions, because we had to go up a hill and around a corner. So I was trying to give the guy, or yell through the window what to do. So I'm standing next to the deuce and a half, watching, you know, the vehicle getting pulled out of the mud. And then all of a sudden, there's this snap, and it was like slow motion. This fucking nylon strap came right back and hit me in the sternum. And then it was like in slow motion, it just went up and down, and like the whole thing just fucking hit me in the chest. And it hurt so fucking bad. It felt like I was on fire and lightning was shooting out of my ass. In fact, it hurt so bad that I fucking passed out. And they had to take me to the Madigan. My last memory was waking up in the emergency room in the Madigan Army Hospital with like a bunch of ice packs on my chest. No stitches were needed, luckily, because I had my BDU top on, and it was the winter weight ones, which are a little tougher than summer weights. But I had a welt that, I mean, it was fucking bruised up and welted for like 6 fucking weeks, man. And the doctor's like, hey, man, if that wouldn't have hit you in the chest, if that would have came up and hit you in the fucking throat, it would have fucking killed you. And then after that, you know, I'd get counseled, and, you know, it's stupid. I mean, I was a fucking private first class. I didn't know any fucking better. You know, I didn't know that shit could fucking do that. But apparently it does, and now it's mentioned in all of the safety regs. And in fact, stateside, they don't even use fucking toe straps anymore. They only really use them overseas, and only for field expedient towing, you know, when you're outside the fob and you may or may not be getting shot at. So anyway, that's 4 good stories. Hopefully you like them. If you don't, it is what it is. But, you know, I got a whole lot more to go. I mean, 30 some odd years of stories. And, you know, hopefully you can glean some wisdom out of them. Maybe not. And it is what it is. If you laughed at these, I got a bazillion more. And apparently these particular stories aren't really being, you know, punished by YouTube. I'm allowed to monetize these. So I'm going to be putting these out 1 or 2 a week along with my regular stuff. And we'll see if we can get to some of the green screen skits and other stuff down the road. Anyway, you guys have a good evening, and hope you had a good turkey day. Take it easy.